from Pix 11 New York, Brooklyn nonprofit offers 11-week paid restaurant training to asylum seekers. So you're giving them free money, you're offering them jobs, you're calling them asylum seekers, and of course, the nonprofit sector is absolutely loving this. The NGOs, all of the loopholes, but they say a nonprofit is offering a paid apprenticeship program on the New Jobs NYC website to prepare asylum seekers in New York City to work in restaurants. And we've said that, I've said this several times before. Who's going to pick the crops?
Why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops down here.
Who's going to clean the toilets?
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, no. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying.
Who's going to work in back of house while the other illegal immigrants on scooters are delivering food to overpaying New Yorkers? Absolute insanity. The 2-part program offered by the nonprofit Emma's Torch in Brooklyn takes 11 weeks and includes up to 400 hours of culinary training, according to the program's website. So here we are. They're quite literally ushering in the new underclass of newcomers, the asylum seekers. And Eric Adams, of course, has since told us that these people aren't illegal.
Migrants and asylum seekers are not undocumented. They were legally paroled in the city by the Customs Border Patrol on the southern part of our border.
They've been flown in legally, sure, but you've already muddied the waters so much that even if one plane load of people go from Texas or Florida to New York or Chicago, it's all been completely called into question by all of your other illegal ramblings and freebies for the illegals. Participants learn basic knife skills and communication skills, as well as a high standard of sanitation and kitchen safety. Those in the program also prepare food for the Emma's Torch restaurant and cafe. And I've actually worked in a restaurant in Brooklyn, and you have to get the little card, little food handler's card, because we know by now that there are two, well, of course there's a 2-tier justice system, but there's a 2-tier system of regular New Yorkers and illegal New Yorkers, or just regular American citizens and illegal border hoppers who apparently are given the world on a silver platter. In part 2 of the program, trainees learn skills set in one of the nonprofit cafes and work every station. Graduates can also use the nonprofit's network of employers to find a job. The program also offers weekly English classes focused on culinary vocabulary and interview preparation, job readiness workshops, mock interviews, and mock trials with leading restaurants. So these people, they're setting them up to work at the most amazing established restaurants, apparently. Maybe the French Laundry. Regular evaluations to track progress and prepare for a long-term career. So they could do all this, but they didn't have to do anything at the border. They could just show up and some NGO told them, just say asylum and they'll give you whatever it is you need. Students are paid a full-time minimum wage and are offered professional knives and uniforms for free, according to Emma's Torch. To be eligible, you must meet the following requirements: refugees, asylees, asylum seekers, or survivors of human trafficking who have arrived in the United States within the past 5 years. So there you go. I guess kudos to them for at least being truthful about the idea that you have to be an illegal alien to even remotely qualify for this. Ready to have full-time availability for the duration of the program, over 18 years old on their first day of the program, able to work in the United States, making less than $10,000 annually, and or facing significant barriers to employment in the U.S. Oh, you mean like just simply being a United States citizen, right? Oh, significant barriers? Who is writing this stuff? Willing and able to stand for 8 hours and lift boxes up to 50 pounds, able to communicate and follow instructions in English, and be passionate about food. If you want to learn more, click here. So they are getting ready to offer more freebies and things that I'm sure these asylum seekers, these newcomers, are going to take advantage of. And here's a post from Coronavirus New York. They say, Mayor Adams is being asked about gangs taking over parks in Roosevelt Ave, Queens, and people disappearing. Mayor Adams was asked about gangs on mopeds taking over parks, blah, blah, blah.
I'm Javier Castaño.
What's up, Javier? How are you?
Pretty good from Queens Latino. My question is about something that is happening on Roosevelt Avenue. I know that you've been...
And you could also be under the impression that whoever this journalist, this questioner here, is probably, well, I guess we truly do not know at this particular point in time, but he sounds like he could be a legal migrant, but they don't want to draw any distinctions between legal and illegal, as we know quite well.
Visit that area with the councilman Francisco Moya, but the week after, things went to normal. Chicas is still there, street vendors, garbage, everything. But I'm not talking about that today. It's something that concerns our neighborhood, because I live there too, is that gangs are taking over the parks.
Gangs are taking over the parks. Don't worry about that. Soon enough, they'll have a restaurant job.
The gangs in motorcycles and scooter just going to the park, threatening everybody. They are showing machetes and even guns, and people disappear. So this is new. This is nothing that was before there. So what the police and the city is doing to control them?
You know, I love when we do these town halls and stuff like this is raised, and I love.
Okay, here it comes. This is basically the equivalent of let's be clear. You know, word salad is about to come.
Well, let's first be clear.
Oh, thank you so much for the question. I love when this type of stuff comes up. I just bought myself a good 20 seconds of spewing further nonsense while I think about the later nonsense I'm going to spew in your direction in response to this fairly sound question.
Love when you raise it, because everyone thinks I'm the only one that believes quality of life issues like that.
No. What? No, that's just not true at all. In fact, I would argue that most people know you are the only person who doesn't. Well, you are one of the few people, mainly Democrat politicians, who do not care about quality of life for anybody else, right? For themselves, you can't send the migrants to Martha's Vineyard, as we know. But as far as you guys out in Queens are concerned, who cares? Let the strippers, the hookers, the gangsters, they're going to run roughshod over you, and you're just going to obey.
That they're important. And when you raise it, and when I go into communities in the town halls, and we sit at the town halls, and you hear these everyday people raising what they want, it just helps me say, I'm speaking on behalf of New Yorkers.
What? I would beg to differ. I don't think you can find anybody who says, Eric Adams speaks for me, and, he's really going to bat for the taxpaying citizens of New York. I doubt anybody would say that. So he's already wrong, if you wanted to put it nicely, on two levels, but more likely just completely lying out of his, through his teeth, like the Democratic establishment hack shills tend to do.
So we're going to look at that problem that you're talking about. I'm not aware of that. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Oh, yeah.
But we have a whole plan.
Hold on. He doesn't know. He hasn't heard about the gangs, the hookers, and the robberies occurring in Queens. He hasn't heard about that. He's going to look into it and then do absolutely nothing about it, except for possibly make it worse.
Roosevelt Avenue, cleaning it, continue to go after the illegal sex trafficking that's there, that some people are calling to legalize. I'm saying it should not be legalized because of the sex trafficking and some of the other problems, but there are those elected officials who are saying it should be legalized.
Yeah, he is right about that. A broken clock is right twice a day, as they say, because there is apparently, and this was maybe a year or so ago now, where some Queens representative was saying we should decriminalize sex work because most of the sex workers in my district are actually illegal transgenders.
There's often raids on massage parlors and places like my community in Jackson Heights. I have Roosevelt Avenue and you often see the police still in the community targeting our sex workers. So again, it's something in which impacts mostly people who are undocumented. In my community, it's a lot of undocumented transgender women.
And there's nothing wrong with those brothels. So I'm pushing back against that. I'm calling to go after those who are carrying out this illegal quality of life issue. But you need to know, in those same communities that you're talking about, there are people who are advocating to keep it from happening and saying the police department shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't have police presence. We shouldn't have police who are being aggressive to go after this illegal behavior. And so I agree with you. And I'm going to speak with the commander over there, who's a great commander. He really stabilized the plaza that was there. That plaza was out of control. When I went there about 1:30 a.m. in the morning, we saw food everywhere, pigeon droppings on, the food. So we're going to go there and take a look at what you're talking about. And I will, we'll meet you over there. You can walk through and show me exactly what you're talking about, because we don't want gangs taking over our parks. We want children taking over our parks.
Okay, well, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. He lobbed a whole bunch of word salad in the direction of that questioner. And basically, from what I could gather there, his answer to the question about gangs and hookers taking over Queens is, well, actually, there's people worse than me.